So electric guitars, we have a couple of them in this song. Electric left and right here on the verse. There's also, which I named here, the FX guitar, which is a little bit of chorus guitar that comes in, especially in the pre-chorus then, together with two other guitars. So maybe let's listen just to the guitars. Panned hard left and right. And then comes in the next guitar. Right in the middle. There's another pre-chorus. And the chorus. And I didn't want to record too much guitars because at least what I think, if you have too many guitars spread to left and right and to the middle, and you track them once, double track them and have duplicated tracks and so forth, it's sometimes or oftentimes make it actually sounding a little smaller than just have one guitar on the left, one guitar on the right, one straight in the middle, and that's basically it. So I felt this song didn't need much more. And let's start off with the two guitars in the verse here. All the guitars were tracked with a good old trusty Marshall MG100 DFX transistor amp actually, but I really love it. And I used, I think it was the channel 2 overdrive channel. And then I used just the graphic EQ, which is here the vintage graphic EQ from Logic, with a little bit of a low cut. And I also reduced a little bit the 250 here and boosted quite a bit the top end of the guitars, 4K and 8K. Basically the same on both guitars. Sounds like that. Okay, let's listen just to the left one. Without the EQ. Very dark. And with. Okay. And the same holds true for the other guitar. Same graphic EQ. As far as this FX guitar here goes, I have here the guitar stomp, which is kind of like the battles of waves. I have a compressor here going on. A little bit of EQ, boosted also a little bit here, the 4K and 2K. Then comes the chorus plug-in and a delay. Okay, and width. Throughout the chorus and with. You'll see EQ makes quite a bit of difference. Okay. Then on the other two guitars, they are basically the same. I just split them up here on the other two tracks again with the graphic EQ. And then we have two guitars that are kind of like just alternating picking left and right. Again here the graphic EQ, so let's listen to them in solo because they were quite fun to record actually. Together with the other ones. So as far as compression is going on the electric guitars, I have a FMR unit going on here, just with a kind of like a medium attack and a medium release. and it's compression just 2 dB. Let's listen just to the guitars here. So basically on the verse you can hear actually nothing. Maybe let's go to the chorus. Here and there some peaks are reduced. All right, and as far as the console goes, I have here 2 tracks, which are stereo tracks, basically electric guitars. And I used on the EQ a little bit of a top end boost here, which is around 5K, around 6 dB of gain. So let's listen to that without and with. Without. And with. And that's basically the guitars. That's all to it. So I used the Marshall MG, as I said, with overdrive setting, and then a little bit of a EQ on the console, and with a plug-in. And the FX guitar here is just with the standard waves pedals. That's basically it. All right, let's move on to the synths and the strings. So as far as the strings and the synthesizers goes, let's start here with the intro. I have a little bit of a sample going on here, which is a heartbeat, sounds like that. Just thought it fits the song quite good. Then there is also a ambience, which is a still moment. I think that was a Logic sample, just laid underneath it. And to have a little bit of a kind of like preparation or a rise to the first verse, I used the ambient still moment and I reversed it actually. Then I have an electrorizer sample here and also a chord swell, which adds up to that. And then comes the guitars in here. I used just a little bit of a reverb here, going to a bass. Standard reverb in the cathedral setting, didn't change anything at all. And I just ran it through that. And together with the heartbeat and the other ambient still sample, so those reversed samples and also the riser and swells, they make great impact and they are kind of like a really build up to a certain part of the song, like here on the verse. So it gives it a little bit more impact. And then let's go to the strings. I have here strings low, strings mid, strings high, synth high and a synth low, and then a card synth. Those are going to this synth sum, where I used, well, let's start with that, the MV2, good old MV2 from Waves, low level and high level compression. And let's listen to the strings here. Let's take that part. Without the MV2. Then let's solo maybe just the low strings. let's bring in the mid ones. Then the high. Pan left and right, give it a little bit more space. And the synths. Okay, so what I used here on all the strings is a little bit of EQ, no compression at all, just on the bass with the MV2, rolled off the low end, and on the low strings I pumped quite a bit the 120 hertz, so a little bit more bass. I used here just the sample of the session strings, I think it is called. And on the mids, used a little bit of different EQ, rolled off everything below 900 hertz and boosted quite a bit, starting at 4,850 the top end, give it a little bit more air, so it sounds like that without it. And with. All right. And on the high strings, did basically the same. Just rolled it off a little bit, even a little bit higher, so 1,700 hertz. And let's listen to the strings together. And as far as the synths goes, so the high and the low ones, so the high is that. And the low one. They're just right in the middle. What I used on the high one is a channel EQ, where I rolled off the low end. And then I used the real ADT in my beloved fake stereo setting, which is basically artificial double tracking, so it appears that it was recorded 2 times, so doubled, even though it's just one track, so one recording. But it makes the appearance to have a little bit of a phase shifting going on, or kind of like a chorus type effect. But I think that there are 2 sound sources actually. So without it, it sounds like that. And with. Just gives it a little bit more space to the left and right. And then the low one has, again, a channel EQ, low cut, and the R bass that I used also on the bass itself. Here I used 90 hertz to add harmonics. Without it. And with. Okay. So once again, together, everything. Let's add in also this arcade synth. Let's solo that. It's kind of like a fun synth actually. Again, I used here the channel EQ, low cut, pumped up the mids, 1,160 here, and used a little bit of compression. So without it. And with it, just to have the peaks or the transients all the same, even though it's quite consistent actually. And again, the real ATT, again with the same fake stereo effect. Without it. And with. Okay. The arcade synth is actually just the standard Logic arcade attack bass, it is called. And the synth high and low are with the right synth lead preset actually recorded. Those are all standard Logic synths.